Some of you might know that some cars with time will actually appreciate in price. And so some people will actually buy cars that aren't produced anymore, hold them for 20 years, and then sell them for a little bit of profit. Well, the first time I realized something like this could happen was in high school when a friend of mine called Antoine, the dude that actually made this book, bought a pair of sneakers called Yeezys. And these were none other than the Turtle Dove Yeezys. He bought them for $200 plus shipping. And when he received them, we started to see them on the gray market, on the secondhand market, going for around 1.3 grand. But why was this happening? Well, this was simply happening because of something that we call offer and demand. There wasn't enough to satisfy the demand, so the people that really wanted them were willing to pay a premium to get their hands on them, or should I say their feet in them, and that eventually skyrocketed the price. Now, this happens with a lot of different goods. Take toilet paper during the whole COVID pandemic, for example. You could buy like one sheet of toilet paper for like $5. But in today's video, I'm going to specifically focus on a different kind of product that is none other than watches. Now, watches are nice. They tell time. They were a really useful tool back in the day when smartphones weren't a thing, because nowadays everybody has a phone, so you've got the time at the tippity tip of your fingies. So why actually own a watch? The first thing I believe is that watches have now become, at least in society, a jewelry piece. People wear them because they like how they look, and most of the time, if they want to check out the time, they'll look at their phone. Now, if you weren't aware of the price of certain watches, please sit down, because even if you know about Rolex, you haven't heard about the $17 million Paul Newman watch. Yes, I just said $17 million. Paul Newman owned a Rolex Daytona that was recently sold at auction for $17 million in right under 12 minutes. Obviously, this is a special case because there's a celebrity involved, but we can see some other watches, such as some Richard Milles, going in the millions. And the crazy thing is, the MSRP wasn't millions. Sure, it was a couple $100,000, but not millions. Today, we're going to focus on watches that are a little bit more in our price range, at least me, I don't know. You guys might be crypto whales. Hey, what's up, boys and girls? It's your boy Marcel, aka Smallcom. I hope you're doing well. Today, I am wearing none other than the Breitling navitimer, which is absolutely a class of a watch. You might have seen it in some of my previous videos, and I guess today we're going to start out by talking about this one. Obviously, there's a ton of other watches that we could do this with. I'm just doing this with the Breitling because I have it, so it's easier to talk about it. This watch was passed down to me from my grandfather, so obviously it's priceless. I'll never sell it, but just to give you an idea of what can happen with these kinds of luxury goods, let's jump on to a website called Chrono24 and check out the price chart. So we're here, this is the exact same model as mine, reference number model A23322. It's currently going on the gray market for around 4,500 euros, or pretty much the same in dollars. Here you can probably see some better pictures. Personally, I love it. It was made in 2008, so it has actually been 14 years since this watch, this specific model, came out. And when we scroll all the way down, we can see the actual evolution in price of this watch. So it was going for around $2,600 to $2,700 in July 2009. And nowadays, it's going for around $4,000. Now, what does this mean? This means that if you bought yourself a Breitling navitimer like this one back in 2008, you probably paid around $2,000 to $3,000 for it. And if you sold it now, sure, there's inflation and all that, but you would still have made a profit of $1,500. And this isn't even a very wanted watch. There's not a huge demand for it. There is some offer, but the price is still going up. If we want to look at something a little bit crazier, we can go the way of Rolex, for instance, which I'm assuming you guys know. So for this little analysis, I chose the Rolex Daytona, which is a pretty iconic watch from Rolex. We'll go check them out. Okay, first thing first, you can see that the prices are pretty high. Let's check out this one, right? So this one's going for around 42,000 euros right now. Pretty much the same thing in dollars, guys. The change is almost the exact same thing. It was made in 2022, meaning it's a brand new watch. But if we check the price chart of the Rolex Daytona model, we can see that back in 2016, they were going for around 17 grand. And in March of 2022, they peaked at $51,000 per watch. That means that if you bought one in 2016, 2017, and you sold it now, you would have made pretty much 35 grand for just holding a watch that you're able to wear. This means that if you wanted to buy yourself a nice watch in 2017 and you got yourself a Rolex Daytona and you sold it nowadays, you would have made around $30,000. It's not like you have to put it in a safety deposit box and be really careful. Obviously, scratches and wear on the watches will affect the resale price, but personally, I'm all for wearing what you buy. I mean, you're spending a lot of money into a very nice luxury item. You might as well just use it and actually enjoy it. I think you got the idea of luxury items going up in price, especially watches. If you weren't aware, Rolex, Audemars Piguet, Philippe Patek, etc., these kinds of brands with a huge heritage actually have watchmakers, which means that every single watch is made by hand. They're extremely complex. If you're also not aware, there's two types of power, actually three types of powering for watches. There's quartz, which means that it's going to use a battery, just like this one right here, which is a cute festina that I got for my 18th birthday. There's obviously spring-loaded watches, such as this pocket watch, which is a Waltham Premier. So basically, if I want it to work, I have to spin this thingy, and then it'll start moving. I don't believe I spin it enough for it to start moving, but you get the gist. And then you have automatics, such as the Breitling navitimer and the two Festinas that I have over here. By the way, not sponsored by Festina, but I saw y'all putting ads in front of my videos, and I sent you guys an email, so please sponsor me. You know, I like your watches. They're kind of cool. An automatic basically means that the watch does not need a battery. Once you wind it, when you keep walking, when you keep moving with it, there is a counterweight inside the watch that will rotate in order to recharge a spring and slowly let go of that energy so that the watch keeps running. Meaning that you can wear it for years and years without ever having to change the battery. You'll just have from time to time to check that it's actually on an accurate time, because there is a tiny bit of slippage depending on the movement and the brand. Now, that being said, you totally understood the gist of this video. Watches can totally be investments. Now, I wouldn't want to tell you what watch to go buy in order to make some money, but I am going to send you towards a couple different YouTube channels. I'll have links in the descriptions to those channels that are totally amazing for getting into the watch hobby, into collecting, into investing. Oh, wow. Okay, no, this thing is actually going. I can hear it do tick, 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 tick. It's a pain in my ass. I don't know if you guys will be able to hear this. I don't think so. And so with these YouTube channels, you'll actually be able to learn about watches just by watching people talk about watches and how they run different businesses, buying and reselling these wonderful timepieces. Now, I'll probably have a full series on this channel about making passive income by investing in luxury goods, more specifically luxury timepieces. So if you're into that, please subscribe. Hit the like button. Show this to your friends if you had actually no clue that this could be a side hustle. We probably all know about flipping items, buying an item at a certain price, reselling it higher. But the thing with watches is you actually develop a passion around them. You start respecting the craft, you start learning, and it's a very, very interesting hobby in my opinion. Anyways, it was your boy Marcel, aka Smokhelm. I hope that this was instructive to you guys and girls, and I'll catch you guys in another one. Peace.